So today we're going to talk about a new episode. It's season 3, episode 7, and the title is 1 Minute. So from the previous episode, we know that the twins, they were trying to kill Walter, but they didn't got the permission from Gustavo. And they kept waiting and waiting, but they couldn't wait any longer. So this time they showed up in Gustavo's restaurant and tried to force him back to the negotiation table. So Gustavo knew that he couldn't hold them off any longer. So he thought of a ploy. He told the twins that they could exact their vengeance and from Hank because Hank was the real one who pulled the trigger and killed Tuco. So the twins accepted this proposal and before they when to assassinate Hank, they need to prepare. So they bought two vests from the black market. And then this part was crucial. The provider from the black market threw in a bullet. He gave this one special bullet to the twins as a gift for free. So one of the twins stored that bullet in his front chest pocket. And this part is a key element, is a key plot of today's episode. So this bullet will show up in the last part. So we just keep that in mind. There was a bullet uh, put in the front chest pocket of one of the twins. So at the end of last episode, Jesse and Walter they set up a hoax to lure Hank away the scrapyard. But when Hank got to the local hospital, there was no listing for Marie, and he knew that he got played by someone. So that one was probably Jesse, so he was pissed, and then he followed Jesse back to his house. And he came up to him, didn't say anything. He beat him on the face and beat him hard. So Jesse was sent to emergency room. He was sent to hospital. And then we all know that Hank was in a big trouble because he was a law enforcement, right? But he attacked an innocent citizen without any proper reasons. So in the hospital, Walter and Saul came to visit him. And Jesse, he said that he would do everything he could to get even with Hank. He would file charges against him. And then after all these things, after getting out of the hospital, he would get a new RV and start cooking again. So Skyler knew about Hank's. He got himself into this trouble, and if he can't handle this properly, Hank could lose everything he had. So he went to see Walter and asked him for help. Probably he could say something to Jesse and talk him into taking back the charges against Hank. But Walter, he wanted to draw a line between himself and Jesse and pretended like he had nothing to do with Jesse. He didn't want to address this problem currently. So he asked Skylar out of his house and then he went to work that day. But he was still obsessed with this matter. So he was in bad mood that day and accidentally, unfortunately, Gale, he set up a wrong temperature in one step of the processes in that day. So he lost his temper and he told him off. And after the work, he called Gustavo that he wanted to change laboratory assistant because of this issue. But that was just an excuse. The reason why he did this was because he wanted to provide a job opening to Jesse, so he wouldn't file any charges against Hank. So in the end, Gustavo accepted this proposal, so Walter could choose his own laboratory assistant. And sorry, and Walter he approached this opportunity with Jesse, but Jesse turned that down. And the reason why he turned that down was not because he turned down the money. That was because he said that he did not want to have anything to do with Walter. He said that ever since he met Walter, everything that he cared about was gone. Combo was dead, Jane was dead, he was more alone, no one was around him. So he was crying and he said that he was not appreciated and he was not respected by Walter. Walter looked down on the meth he produced himself. So before Walter left the hospital, he turned to Jesse and he looked him in the eyes. He said that your meth is good, Jesse. Your meth is good. The quality is good as mine. So he said that to Jesse sincerely. He really meant it. He wasn't just lie to Jesse and try to lure him back to the business. So when Walter got back to his house, he's still trying to come up with some way to address this situation. Then he received a call from Jesse, and Jesse accepted his offer. He finally accepted his offer, and he wasn't going to file any charges to Hank. So on the Hank side, uh, that day he was going to the office because there was some officers coming from the office of professional responsibility to investigate this case. And before he left the house, Hank dressed up with a nice suit, and then he told Marie that he wasn't going to lie anything about this matter. He was going to tell the truth, every details. Uh, he said that what he did to Jesse was not a good thing, was not the right thing. That wasn't that was not this job all about. So he gave his statement of every detail what was going on the night to the officers. And in the light of the facts, he was suspended without pay. So he had to hand over his gun and then hand over his badge. So he lost his job uh, at the moment. So after the investigation, Hank was waiting for the elevator, and then his superior uh, his superior held him up and told him something in private. His superior told him that it seemed that Jesse was not going to press any charges against him. So probably he could got away with this and back to work again. So both of them did not know why Jesse wasn't going to do that, but they were happy. So Hank went to a supermarket after the investigation to buy some flowers and presents to for Marie. And he called Marie and told her that probably he could get away uh, with this matter. So in the parking lot, in the car, he was about to leave. Then he received an anonymous phone call, and the man in the call told him there were two men came to kill him in 1 minute. So the man in the phone simply handed up, didn't say anything more. So Hank thought that was a joke from Gomez to begin with. So he called Gomez, but the call directly rolled over to the voicemail. So he knew that that wasn't from Gomez. But he was nervous about this. He didn't have any weapons on him. He handed over his gun right before. So he saw there were two men, one coming from the back of his car, and the other one was coming from the front. So he put in reverse gear and back up the car to hit the one on the back. So to hit him, so that he disabled that one, and then he took up the gun. That man dropped on the ground, tried to fight back another one on the front. But that one, he wore a bulletproof vest, so Um, he wasn't injured by Hank. So Hank ran out of ammo, and he got shot by that one of the twins, and bullets were everywhere. So the one of the twins pointed his gun to Hank's head, but he did not pull the trigger because he thought that was too easy to kill him in this way. So that one of the twins went back to his car to take the axe. He wanted to kill Hank with the axe. So that was the time that bullet put in the front chest pocket of his drop off. So Hank took this opportunity and he took up the bullet and then reloaded his gun and then shot him in the head, shot that one of the twins in the head before he killed him with the axe. So Hank got away with that, and both of the twins, one of the twins were shot in the head, and he was dead on site, and the other one he was disabled. He couldn't walk. So Hank got away with that, but blood was everywhere, and that was such an emergency. So that was the end of the episode.